who had both his hippocampi lesioned because he had epilepsy in his hippocampi. This is a memory encoding area. They kept him in the laboratory for years and studied him. And they learned things like, you might appreciate this, if you went in and you said, hey, I'm Joe, nice to meet you. He'd say, hi, I'm, whoever he was, HM, Henry, whatever. And you'd say, great. And you'd walk out and come back in and say, hi, who are you? And you'd say, I'm Joe. I'm going to tell you a joke. They did this experiment. And you tell him a joke and he'd laugh. He'd laugh. You leave, you come back, you tell him the same joke. He doesn't remember the joke, but he laughs a little bit less. And the next time a little bit less. So something in his brain is familiar, right? This speaks to the importance of novelty and surprise in comedy, but he can't remember that he remembers. And so that starts to open up all sorts of interesting questions about consciousness and novelty.
Oh, wow. So he kind of sees it coming, but he doesn't know why he sees it coming.
Yeah, he doesn't know why it's not as funny the second time. I mean, it's never as funny the second time, right?
But are the people that are saying it, are they saying it with the same enthusiasm? Is it the same person?
They didn't control. I don't know that they use good comics or good jokes. Most of the jokes are pretty lame.
Right.
They're kind of laboratory style jokes, which are always lame. But they always, my understanding is that a lot of the joke, the laughter evoking quality of a joke is the surprise. Although I have to say, when I saw you go do comedy at the Vulcan a few months ago, there's some bits, you call them? Right?
Yeah, bits.
Okay. That you do where I'm thinking to myself, oh no, he's not going there, is he? Is he really? Like you're leading us down this path and I'm thinking, oh no, he's not going to say that, is he? And then you go there and that's what's funny about it. So I realized when watching that, I took a mental note to myself. I was like, okay, so jokes aren't always about getting hit with the surprise. Sometimes it's, you're going down this path that is really, really uncomfortable.
Well, it's very hard to describe what comedy is because you don't even know it unless you're doing it. Like while you're doing it, you're trying to work out bits. It's almost like you're on instinct. You're trying to sort. You're almost like the way you're probing the brain in the dark. You're kind of doing that a little bit with comedy. Some of it's sneaky. Some of it you're sneaking things in on people. You're catching them before they because the worst thing is when you know where someone's going and you see the setup and you anticipate the punchline, then the punchline comes and you don't think it's funny because you're like, I thought that myself. I saw that coming. The best ones are when you think something's going to happen and then another thing happens instead and it's even funnier.
Right.
Or when you recognize this thing that this person's saying that you didn't think other people recognized. And you're like, yes!
Right.
There's that too. But you don't know what you're doing while you're doing it sometimes.
I saw you do a question and answer part at the end.
Yeah.
I was there with Lex. And he turns to me, he's like, I can't believe he's going to do this. I'm like, why not? He's like, because that's real time. I mean, I guess you're
you're fucking around.
Yeah. Well, it was amazing. I mean, I think that for us, we're just thinking like, wow, for two scientists, like two super nerds, to put yourself into a situation deliberately where you don't know what's going to happen. It's like the worst. Everything about science is trying to control variables. It's all about control.
Right.
Right. This is probably why Lex is still single. Just kidding, Lex. There's so many women that want to marry. No. No, God, he's gonna kill me. He's the black belt in jiu-jitsu, not me. Oh no, Lex, I'm so sorry. He's over in Russia right now. I hope he comes back.
He's not
right.
gonna listen. He'll be so far behind on podcasts. He's not gonna listen to this one. Don't worry.
He'll probably come back with a wife.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that's his move. Find himself a nice lady over there who'll understand him.
Oh goodness, there's so many things I want to say here, but I have to be very careful. Whoever Lex marries will be one lucky woman, and vice versa.
The only thing I would worry about with Lex is that he's so busy. I do not know if he has the time for a relationship. We actually discussed that on a podcast I did with him on his podcast that's going to be released soon. He was talking about whether or not he has time. He has time for a relationship. He's not sure if he does.
Well, he's also going to have to start following a somewhat more normal schedule because this guy's basically nocturnal. I get texts from him at 4 a.m.
Yeah, but that's what he likes.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. I think some people's minds work best I write my best material really late at night.
What's really late?
2, 3 in the morning.
But you get up early, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but it depends on the day. Like if I write till 3, 4 in the morning, I try not to get up before 10. But on normal days, I'm getting up at 7 or maybe even a little earlier. But when I come home from shows, oftentimes my mind is very excited, and that's when I like to write.
Yeah, there's a really cool phenomenon where early in the day, or after, we should say after someone's been asleep for a while, for that first 0 to 9 hours of the day, I call this phase 1 just because got to label everything with a name to make it clear. During that time, we know that dopamine, adrenaline,